T.S. Eliot. For last year's words belong to last year's language, and next year's words await another voice. And to make an end is to make a beginning. Do I dare disturb the universe? In a minute there is time for decisions and revisions which a minute will reverse. Unreal friendship may turn real, but real friendship, once ended, cannot be mended. John Green. There was a kind of relief on having your own smallness laid bare before you, and I knew I would remember that feeling underneath the split-up sky, back before the machinery of fate ground us into one thing or another, back when we could still be everything. There comes a time when we realize that our parents can't save themselves or save us, that everyone who wades through time eventually gets dragged out to sea by the undertow. Everything that comes together falls apart. Everything. The chair I'm sitting on, it was built, and so it will fall apart. I'm gonna fall apart probably before this chair, and you're gonna fall apart. The cells and organs and systems that make you, they came together, grew together, and so must fall apart. The Buddha knew one thing science didn't prove for millennia after his death. Entropy increases. Things fall apart. We are all going, and it applies to turtles and turtlenecks, Alaska the girl and Alaska the place, because nothing can last, not even the earth itself. The Buddha said that suffering was caused by desire, and that the cessation of desire meant the cessation of suffering. When you stopped wishing things wouldn't fall apart, you'd stop suffering when they did. Someday, no one will remember that she ever existed, or that I did, because memories fall apart too, and then you're left with nothing, left not even with a ghost, but its shadow. In the beginning, she had haunted me, haunted my dreams, but even now, just weeks later, she was slipping away, falling apart in my memory and everyone else's, dying again. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I am driven by two main philosophies. Know more about the world than I did yesterday, and lessen the suffering of others. You'd be surprised how far that gets you. My view is that if your philosophy is not unsettled daily, then you are blind to all the universe has to offer. Curious that we spend more time congratulating people who have succeeded than encouraging people who have not. Paulo Coelho. It's the possibility of having dreams come true that makes life interesting. One is loved because one is loved. No reason is needed for loving. You drown not by falling into a river, but by staying submerged in it. Walt Whitman. Keep your face towards the sunshine, and the shadows will fall behind you. The question, oh me, so sad, recurring, what good amid these, oh me, oh life? Answer, that you are here, that life exists, an identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you will contribute a verse. Do anything, but let it produce joy. G.K. Chesterton. The true soldier fights not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. I would maintain that thanks are the highest form of thought, and that gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. There are two ways to get enough. One is to accumulate more and more. The other is to desire less. Eleanor Roosevelt. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You're able to say to yourself, I have lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Victor Hugo. Even the darkest night will end, and the sun will rise. Music expresses that which cannot be said, and on which it is impossible to be silent. Life is the flower for which love is the honey. Blaise Pascal. Kind words do not cost much, yet they accomplish much. The heart has its reasons, which reason knows not. It is man's natural sickness to believe that he possesses the truth. A small fiction. Most wished on shooting stars, but he liked to wish on the falling leaves, on long walks, on cold mornings, the wishes drifting down around him. She wasn't sure what came next now that she was born, but she'd already gone from oblivion to existing. How much harder could the rest be? People loved her almost as much as she disliked herself, which made her wonder if she was good at hiding her bad, or bad at finding her good. Marcus Aurelius. Death smiles at us all, but all a man can do is smile back. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Jon Krakauer. At long last, he was unencumbered, emancipated from his stifling world of his parents and peers, a world of abstraction and security and material excess, a world in which he felt grievously cut off from the raw throb of existence. He was ready, perhaps, to shed a little of the armor he wore around his heart, that upon returning to civilization, he intended to abandon the life of a solitary vagabond, stop running so hard from intimacy, and become a member of the human community. How is it that a kid with so much compassion could cause his parents so much pain? Leonard Cohen. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in.